Hey guys, welcome to another video from myself, Fraser. Here we are where we left off in the previous flight here in Verona in Italy, northern Italy. We're going to be doing a return flight back up to Eastern's sort of main, or going off Wikipedia, this is one of their main hubs, Humberside. Aberdeen, I believe, was their sort of main overall base. But yeah, we're going to be doing we'll see how it goes, because most of Eastern flights is all sort of through Aberdeen, so it's Aberdeen to all of their respective. It's like Aberdeen is their main hub, from what I'm gathering, and it's only so much fun going backwards and forwards to the same airport. So we'll try and mix that up somewhat from where we go from Humberside. We will figure that out as we go. I'll come up with an idea, but yeah, here we are. We're going to do, yeah, just for all intents and purposes, we'll do a return flight from Verona back to, this is not their route by any means, it's just a route that I saw that Blue Islands did, and I thought I'll do it with this instead of doing it with that. So yeah, we'll head on up, and yeah, a bit like what I was saying, a bit of a, I guess a bit of nostalgia flying an airline that's now no longer. So we'll get in, it's a longish flight, so we'll get in and we'll get this aircraft all powered up as if it was, I'm just going to see what time it is, and I think I've set it to sort of earlyish in the morning. I'll actually go a little bit earlier, yeah. Get it nice and darkish. So yeah, let's get in and turn this aircraft on. So come down to here and we'll just turn on these lights for when we're just going to activate the ground power now, just so we can get this aircraft lit up. Turn on the logo light, especially for this time of the morning, and we're going to turn on the heating and the cabin crew oxygen, and that's all done. We will now come into our FMS, and we'll enter in all of the relative data. So we'll just align the INSs, and then we'll go to flight plan, we'll go to route, and we'll go ahead and start entering in all of our sim brief data. So we will do first things first is enter in our to and from, well, from and to Verona LIPX / so this sort of, once again, this is sort of like a simple tutorial on how to set up the FMS in the ATR if you want to do it manually, e.g. NJ, enter, and you don't have to do it, but just if you want to do a bit of realism, you enter in your flight code, so just a made up number really. Execute. Now we're going to go into here and start up our sim brief flight, which we probably should have done a bit earlier, but that's alright. And while it's loading, we'll start getting our altitude set for 20,000 feet. You can just make it out from here. We're just going to start fly, get that set up. So you're just trying to be efficient and just, you know, when you're waiting, you've always got things to do. Request flight clearance. Well, that's 20,000 feet. Alright, the moment of truth, what's our right departure going to be? Do we have a departure? Yep, we do. So it's going to be Oz 7C, this one. So that's Good, and now we're just going to go back into this Navigraph chart, the page, and enter in our flight plans. So we've got a few direct, well actually a lot of them are going to be direct, so that makes things, it's easy. RESIA, Resia goes into here. Now we can go into the next page. A bigger, enter, what's next? Throttle. Next is, we're just going to execute that because we're going to do airwave now. So airway, that's going to be it. To Dick, off to Dick. Our airwave is going to be this one here, M624 to Bub. And then from Bub, we're going to be flying the L608 to Saski. Execute, because we're going to do our direct now return. Where we're going to Zayman. Execute, because we're going to do airwave from here. So airwave is going to be P49 Mustang. No, not quite. That's P51 to this one here. It's the and then Y6 to Banim. And that's our flight plan all done and dusted there. So we'll just go into this page because it's better with the altitude. Right, we'll go into data. We'll go to init again. We'll go to perf init. We're going to confirm our altitude, 20,000 feet. Now we're going to do the weight limit, which is just a breeze in Flight Simulator 2020, just so efficient. Just drag these sliders, and our fuel is going to be basically, oh, not that one, 32, 3,200. That's perfect. Our total estimated takeoff weight is going to be 22.13. So drag this to yep, I'm happy with that. We've got a little bit of, I'll just put in a drop more fuel in. Right, we can now enter in the go segue into the weights page, and it's 3271, and get your calculator out if you're not good at math like I am, and we're just going to subtract our total fuel weight, which is going to be 21,209 minus 3,271, and that should give us 17,938 as our zero fuel weight. 17,938, and the moment of truth, will it match up? Yeah, it does indeed. So that is perfect. In our reserve file, I'm guessing it's this one here, so we'll just make it 380. We might have a little bit extra on, but that's okay. Right, we've done that, so we can get rid of that, and we are, oh yes, we will just enter in the go into the performance page. Our trans altitude is 6,000 feet, and we're just going to enter in our data for our weather. So we know it's going to be 6,000 feet for our trans altitude. It's not 18,000 feet like the US. 290/13. And I see, I don't think there's any gusts or anything like that, so we're just going to put maybe 15, a sensible number. And our QNH is going to be 1011. Right, that is our. I'll just add this in again. That's all good, sweet. So we are ready for our startup now. So just going to go through and just clear all of this. Actually, we will go into this page here, click on this little box here. We're going to do icing additions, reset fuel, confirm takeoff data, and that will come up. You'll know you've done it. It'll come up with this little pink thing here for our. Actually, we'll stay on that page so we can enter in our trims once the engine's started. So we can't really see much. This is the annoying thing about default airports Microsoft Flight Simulator. I reckon they should make all default airports, especially ones with aprons, come with some form of lighting, because lighting makes the world go round. Right, we're ready to get going now. We'll close up all of the doors. We'll quickly get that, turn on the fuel pumps. We'll definitely come here, get that prop brake on, start the engine while we are sorting out the last little bits, get that heater going. I'm just going to go to our navigation page and just get the terrain on. I'll do automatic. Tuning doesn't really. We'll turn on our transponder. I'll go back to nav because that's the one we'll be using the most. We're just going to get a request to start up. Right, we'll turn on our beacon light. I'm just going to turn on my little flash torch there just so I can see a little bit more. Alright, I think we don't need our ground power now. We've got power available. We'll turn on all of these. Turn on the TRU in preparation. Right, we'll start our next engine now. Get that fuel in. And we'll set our trims, so it's just going to be one up. Right, and set flaps 15, and we can now disengage the brakes and the ground power. We can now ground crew have disappeared, so we can. What's happening now? Right, flaps can come down. Our taxi lights can come on. Anything else? Oh yeah, we'll flick this to off. And we're going to have our icing on, so we'll get our icing all turned on because there's going to be a bit of cloud by the looks of it. Alright, I think that is everything. TN should come on. That should come on, shouldn't it? For some reason that's not turning on, which is a bit odd. Oops, we've got to turn off the prop brake, so we'll do that. Alright. Yep, both props are on. We'll go back into auto. Yep, now that's what I wanted. We'll turn off the storm light. We don't need that anymore. Alright, we'll start we'll get going, eh? I don't know think the taxiways are quite properly laid out on this airport from observations yesterday. There is a taxiway here, but the ones that go across are not that clearly marked. Alright, we're going to head on out for our departure. There are definitely a few things that I'm not doing. And there are a few other little procedures that you do in real life, or not so much real life, but if you are watching YouTube videos, like ground setting up, we'll just push the sync heading once we turn around. Oh, one thing we will do is we'll go nav, heading nav, IAS, and VNav, and we'll just click on this little speed here. So it's magenta, which means it's, I guess, automatic. Sets the speed to that setting. Right, we can turn on our strobes, and we'll turn on our landing lights. And we're basically just taxiing on to the end of the runway and backtracking. We'll get rid of the gust lock too while we're here. I will check this little takeoff button over here somewhere. Where is it? Takeoff config is all good. And we're just going to go through and just check off this pre-start thing. We'll turn off our packs for this takeoff, eh? Since we've got the anti-icing on, we might need extra bit of power. So this is a very interesting departure here, which will probably no doubt not be depicted very well in the ATR. As we know, the navigation display regarding our route is not very good in this ATR. It's just squiggly lines when it should be nice curved lines. Alright, we'll just put up a bit more power. But yeah, it definitely has its quirks. The ATR, it's not perfect, but it is actually, once you sort of find the bugs and you work around it, it's actually, the ATR is actually not too bad. It's just Flight Simulator 2024. It's obviously not a native product, so instead of having, if you want to fly the ATR, instead of setting yourself up to fail and just be disappointed, just, if you got 2020, just fly it in 2020 if you really do like it. Sometimes it's not worth the headache. Right, and we will select the equivalent of climb in your in your Airbus setting, and that's all you have to do with your throttles. It's basically almost like an Airbus. It's just you put it in that one notch for takeoff, cruise, climb and cruise, and yeah. Getting quite close to our rotate speed, so we'll be doing that basically now. Landing gear can now come up. And I'm just going to go to autopilot. And as you can see, it doesn't do these things very well. Alright, we'll go ahead and select cruise. Select flaps up. Not too sure if it's in that exact order, but right, landing gear, flaps, power management is set to cruise. We'll turn on our packs. And we'll just sort of speed her up a bit, the simulation rate, and we'll just head on up through the sky, through the clouds. And we've basically given our standard, so we're just going to set that standard, so that's done. Engine bleeds has been done. Taxi lights, we'll turn those off once we are above 10,000 feet as we break the foggy cloud. A nice cold wind this morning to be departing out on, breaking through that low cloud slash fog and straight into this beautiful crisp clear sky. And what is Flight Simulator, what is this doing? See, this is just why I think the ATR is just, it is a bit of a joke that this has not been made any effort in fixing these little like bugs with the navigation. With, as you can see, we should be over here, but it's not depicted in this. So yeah, these are the little things you just go, why has this not been sorted out? Alright, I'm just going to do the landing lights and my taxi lights off. We'll release the no device, and then we can clear this checklist. Right, I think that's basically us for our for our climb and cruise, so if you get back to us we'll have a short break and we'll get back to you during the business end of our descent, so we'll see you guys very shortly. Alright guys, welcome back. We've been given instruction to descend and basically set our QNH to 10, and I will go ahead and just go change arrivals and just going to go vectors via OTH, and I will see which parking bay that we should use. Oh, we'll go with free. I'll go with taxi park. Oh no. Right, we all sort of. Oh, actually, I need to set my RLS, so I'm just gonna scroll out. I've already set my my minimums, but I will set my RLS frequency. So I'm gonna go to VOR RLS. I'm gonna set that to 875. Enter, and just load that up. And then I'm going to set my course, so I'm just going to flick this into RLS. I'm in... I thought I was in heading mode, but I'm not in heading mode. I'm going to select my course to, what was it, 202, so I think it's going to be faster to go this way around. So that should, in theory, be my ILS all set and ready to go. So I'm going to go back to FM, navigation and VNav. And I'm just going to speed it up a little bit more and get that speed going, as in the sim rate. All of that has all been set and done. This is from my after takeoff, so I already set that. Now approach. I guess we could set the, we'll set the seatbelt, say no device seatbelts can come on. We'll wait for a bit for our landing lights. I think that's all really. We're just coming in to land now. Our go around's going to be 2,000 feet, so we won't worry about too much with ourselves. 2,000 feet is going to be our actual final approach fix, so we're just going to set 2,000 feet in. Right, we might as well just turn on our landing lights and taxi lights. For some reason they're already on, so that's okay. Can tick those. Altimeter's been set. Yep, cabin's been alerted. We'll clear that. And it appears it's going to be a very cold day here as well. And I'm just going to get rid of this none. I'm just going to go vectors. Right, we'll go to heading mode and do these vectors, so 3, 2, 5. And we'll just update our QNH to 11. Right, our ILS has been picked up on the bearing things there, so we're all good. Flying in over the eastern English coastline here. It's looks like it's all frosty and cold out there, like I mentioned before. And we'll turn on our icing. Looks like we've got our icing warnings, so we'll turn all of those on. And it'll be interesting to see what other vectors they give, or do I just basically we'll get that set for ILS anyway because we're coming up to that. So turning right 1020. I'm just going to reduce the sim rate, so 290. Right, we'll just put our landing gear down in the first stage of flaps. Might have put our flaps down just a tad too early. We're still 10 nautical miles out, but that is fine. Alright. 250 it is, and we'll basically arm the approach button for when we capture that ILS. So we're just going to arm the approach now. And we'll just go through and tick all of this off. Remember to put this back into takeoff, which I forget. I usually put these into 100%, just in case we need that extra power should we need to go around. Alright, we're coming in for our final approach. We're just going to sink the heading in. And that's us lined up for the ILS. We're just going to pull back the speed just a little bit, get that next stage of flaps out. We'll keep that speed relatively high. And then I'm just going to turn off the autopilot, take over the plane, do the rest, a bit of hand flying myself. There is a bit of there is actually quite a decent crosswind there, so I definitely need to keep a lot of right aileron when we hit down on that runway there, and a bit of elevate, a bit of rudder as well.
Approaching minimum. 200. Minimum. Minimum.
All clear to land, folks. Looking really good here. That's probably one of my better landings. I will say that when we actually land.
30. 20. 10.
Just keeping that aileron right into the wind there. Might put in a bit of reverse for us now. And that is us landed at Humberside. We don't need... we should probably just carry on out to the end here. Oh, actually, we should have enough runway here. This is a wide enough runway, I reckon. Right, because it is a windy, well, the wind's actually calmed down, but we'll get our gust locks on. We'll flick these condition levers back to auto. Flaps can now come up, landing lights can now come up. We'll go through here and go ahead and clear that checklist. We'll turn off this TRU. We can probably go ahead and turn off the anti-icing. And we'll turn off the probes while we're here so that we don't burn Mr. Grauman's fingers. And we can probably go ahead and just get that engine number 2 winding down. I'll just clear this warning here. And I think we can, we're not turning down that taxiway, we're just turning down the next one further along. And we probably can just completely shut down engine number 1. And we'll just turn off the fuel pump to that. Oh, we might open up this little hatch door here, let some fresh air in. No doubt I'll forget to close that, and in real life that would be a major incident with not depressurization. That's all looking good. I've turned off the TRU. And I think this will be our this taxiway here is what the taxiway I believe we will be taking. So we can just go ahead and take this next exit. And we can turn off the taxi light, the strobe light. And here we are at Humberside, and I dare say, I think Humberside is probably without a scheduled service now. I think they were only operated by Eastern. Maybe Logan Air have taken over that service. But I dare say Eastern was probably the only one flying into this little airport. It's quite a nice airport. It is definitely a freeware airport that I've downloaded from TO, and it's looking like it's a really decent one too. Right, we will go ahead and take this. Make sure you keep that speed up. I find as soon as you get that speed too slow, you will run into issues with your usual single engine taxi that you seem to get a lot of. Right, I might try this taxiway here, this parking bay here. And this is where you don't want to come to a complete stop because you'll never get this going again. Yeah, and it looks like we're stuck, so we are just going to have to just stop right there, I guess. I mean, that's close enough. Alright, we're going to feather that engine, we're going to get the prop brakes sorted. I'm going to call in the ground and the wheel chocks. And we can turn off the seatbelt signs, the beacon light, the beaker light. We can shut down the engine completely, and we can now open up the doors and arm the tail prop, and that is us here in Humberside. Thank you for joining me on that flight, and we will do a turnaround flight and we'll head on somewhere else. We will see you guys very shortly.